everybody here so they can all see it at the same time, but it only gets, you only have people do what they can do. 229, so let's see, it could be Alina, Yuri, Nathan, Angelica, well, pretty much everybody except for Ella and Yuri. No, Ella and, oh no, it can be everybody except for David and Tejas. David, Tejas, and Elizabeth, the only ones that turn theirs in. So if that's not you, check, see if that looks like your handwriting possibly.
No. Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
For art, the third one I think was mine.
Did you, I think I recorded your art. Hold on. Okay. I have yours, Elijah. That's not yours. It should be, your microphone's off again. It should be returned in your papers today. Did you go through your papers yet? So check there. I think you'll find it's in there already.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, we got that. Got this one. That could be, let's see, reading again, 165. That could be Yuri, Angelica, Nazar. Oh no, Yuri, Angelica, Elijah, and Ella. Yuri, Angelica, Elijah, and Ella. That's more of the writing that you'd be able to recognize.
Ooh.
So anybody claim it or no?
Mr. Jones.
It's page 165, 166. Yes, Elijah. Elijah, I heard you first. Go ahead.
It might be mine.
Well, it might be, but I have no idea. I don't know whether it's your handwriting or not.
Mr. Jones.
Yes.
I can't really see the handwriting.
Is it just not clear enough for you?
Yes.
I think you must be using a phone.
Yes.
Maybe that's why it is. What I can do is I can send pictures out later, like I did before, of just to the people who they could be. Here's another. Oh, that's that one that we had before. A lot of these seem like the same handwriting. So again, this is Bible. So what I'll do is I'll send it so you can see the page numbers and I know whose it is. And then, but there are a ton of them here. There's quizzes that have no names on them. Another one that has no name on it. So anyway, we'll get to that later. Let's go ahead and get your language out. So you guys need to make sure that you are checking. Make sure you put your names on your papers when you turn them in. And Alina and Giselle, and who else was it? You two in particular, tear off the little edges from the paper, please. I did give you a note, right, Alina? Do you see that note the last time? Okay. Make sure you tear the edges, and then everybody's supposed to be using college rule. Nobody's supposed to be using wide rule. And I asked everybody when they came pick up their stuff if they had college rule paper, and is there anybody that does not have college rule paper? You don't have any, Alina? Your brother doesn't have any? Seriously, Samuel doesn't have any college rule paper. Have you even asked him?
He asked me for some, but I told him that I don't have any.
Why don't you have any? Because you took all your stuff home with you? Did you lose it? Did your little brother make paper airplanes out of it?
No.
Okay, so you never had any in the first place?
I had a little.
Little, okay. I can send you some. I have some here. So what about you, Giselle?
I don't have any.
You don't have any either. How come you don't have any? Giselle, how come you don't have any?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, well, hey, Schlock, you know it's 10:15, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your late partner? What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, for shock.
Oh, you're late, partner. Gotcha. Comma. Gotcha. All right. So anyway, in in language. All right, we're talking about the Helen Keller thing. You were supposed to do your notes and your columns, but yet nobody sent me pictures of it. All right, David?
I forgot to send the picture and I put it in the.
Okay, I think I heard you said you just forgot to send it.
I forgot to send it and I put it in the envelope.
That's fine. I'll get that tomorrow then. What about you, Giselle? Okay, can you send me a picture of it, Giselle, later? Then I'll print it out and I'll put the grade on it for it. And then what about the rest of you? Schlock, did you do yours?
Do what?
The assignment from language.
Yes.
Can I see it?
I put it in the envelope.
Put an envelope, okay. How about you, Elijah?
I didn't do it.
Okay. All right. So you need to get that done, okay? And Yuri, what about you?
How many notes did we have to do?
Well, I think it was like 4 more per each. Well, I don't think I specified a number, but we gave you 2 of each one, but you should be able to get a good number from that. What difference does that make? Did you do the assignment or not?
Didn't finish it.
You didn't finish it? How many? Can I see what you have? Is it basically the 2 that we wrote together last week of each? Yeah, basically. Okay. Tejas, so you didn't do anything on it, Yuri. So don't tell me you didn't do anything. You didn't do your assignment. How about you, Tejas? Did you do a lot? I can't see it. Go ahead and send me a picture of that then, and then I'll print it out and send you back your notes, okay? And then Alina, how about you?
I added 1 to each.
That's
only.
it. Ma'am, there's so much more information there, guys. I told you that last week. You've got to be more thorough. How about you, Elizabeth?
I didn't do it.
Okay, you need to get that done. David? Your face is frozen. I don't know what happened to your screen. Are you there? Okay. Can you, did you do it or not? Did you already tell me?
Yeah, envelope.
Oh, okay, that's right. And then Nathan, what about you? In an envelope?
I don't. Yeah, I left it in my book, but I don't know. I think my mom put it somewhere.
You might
Probably me.
think she put it in the envelope? Okay. All right,
Yeah.
so, and Angelica, what about you? I didn't hear from you. You and your Dunkin'
didn't
Donut
do it.
drinks. You didn't do it? Okay, look, guys, you have to get these things done, especially with this assignment, because this is kind of taking place of your research paper. Okay, this is what we're doing together. I'm helping you out with it. But this is something you've got to learn to do. Why? Because next year, assuming you coming back to my class, and I think almost all of you are signed up for it, the first thing we're doing that year is the research paper. And whatever practice you can get is going to be helpful for you, okay? And so this is part of the thing you're supposed to do. You're using this as your research. You're reading it. You're gathering notes from it. So your job is to write those notes down, okay? And so you need to get that assignment done. And look, each of you seem to have difficulty in understanding that we're in school still. And so being in school, you guys have got to get your work done each day. Several of you have a whole bunch of missing assignments. You look at those papers, some of you have F, 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 D, maybe an A or B, but you've got a lot of F's and D's. You can't, anyway, David, that makes no difference. You still need to learn how to do it. And you still need to do it right. But in any case, which is a sad thing, I agree. But you never know what might happen. Something might change and you don't know for sure. And you may end up in a school where they do require you to know it already. They may have the same material. You just don't know what's going to happen. So in any case, you guys really need to be sure that you're keeping up with your work, because you can't do what you're doing and not do work with it. Hi. There's nothing left to do except for these, if you wanted to, are math papers. Just come back, let me know. All right, sounds good. All right, so some of you are just not doing your work, and you guys, look, some of you are doing missing assignments, but you're not doing your regular assignments. It's not gonna do you any good. You're just making yourself more missing assignments. Do your regular assignments first. Set aside a time each day. I don't know how many times I've said this over and over again, but some of you are just not doing this. Do your assignments first, Make sure that you get everything done for the day, then spend a little bit of extra time doing some of those missing assignments. But some of you are in danger of not passing this year or going into next year in, what do you call it? Academic probation, which means that you have to do really well that first quarter in order to stay in the grade that you're going into. Okay, so make sure that you're getting your work done. That's all it takes, is getting your work done. It's not like I haven't given you a lot of help, because I have. And some of you are just being, in all honesty, you're just being lazy. Some of you, I understand you have a hard schedule because your mom works or something like that, but some of you are just taking advantage of it. You're taking advantage that your mom's not there, and you're waiting until she makes you do the work, and you're wasting your time during the day, and you're not doing the work that you should be doing. Let's do right by your moms. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Did you guys even celebrate that? I assume you did. Okay. You know, one of the best gifts you can give to your mom, Schlock, Tejas, some of you others that aren't doing your work, being honest with her and doing your best, that would be a great Mother's Day gift that you can give to her. Okay, instead of making her get all upset with you guys because you're not getting your work done and because she sees the grades and about has a heart attack when she sees it.
How? Yeah, utoro bile.
Oh, is that you, Angelica? Sorry.
Yeah.
Instead of giving them a heart attack when they see your progress report, and by the way, you can take a picture of it with your parent's signature and send it back to me that way. You don't need to send it back in the envelope. If you don't do it that way, send it back in the envelope, okay, so I can see it. But if you parents sign it, and then your parents sign it, not you, but if your parents sign it, then send it back to me that way. All right. Let me let myself in here. All right. So I wanted to get myself back in. All right. So I can use my little pad. All right. So here we go. Let's look at this thing here that you're supposed to have done. All right. So you could easily get 6 notes from each column, if not more. For some of you that have done the assignment, you realize that that is true. You can do that. That is really not that hard to do. So let's make sure that we are being diligent about getting your work done, because you need to get this done this week. All right, let's move on. On the next page, on 211, talks about taking notes. And maybe this will help some of you who haven't gotten your work done. All right, it says that Tamika was given the assignment of writing a report about Phyllis Wheatley. She was careless in her work and made some very serious mistakes in her note taking. We're on 211, in case you didn't know. 211. And it says, so correct Tamika's notes according to these directions. So go back. The article we're talking about is right here on page number 207. Okay, that's the article that she got the information from. Now go to 211 again. And it says on number 1, Tamika's teacher noticed 4 facts copied incorrectly and 2 names misspelled. Cross out each circled fact and write the correct information in any blank space above or in the margin on that line. All right, then it says use the article on Phyllis Wheatley on page 207 to find the right information. Tamika also used some of the author's words. Rewrite the underlined sentences on page 212. Now that's the next page over, so you look at the next page. See on page 212 it has underlined sentences. All right, and so which one do you guys see the underlined sentences in? Anybody? Do you have underlined sentences in yours? 212. Which ones? What number is it?
Number 8.
Number 8, right. So that's the one that was a direct quote. I mean, it was directly quoted from the article, but I want you to rewrite it. That's what they tell you to do. Rewrite the underlined sentences on 212 in your own words. Now, you don't have to do it on a notebook paper. If you can fit it in there, that's fine, okay? You don't need to worry about doing it on a notebook paper. But if you want to, you can put it on notebook paper, all right? This is an assignment that we are going to check for points. So you need to get this done. We will check them tomorrow. So make sure you go through and do this particular assignment. And then it says, make your answers in complete sentences. So when you're doing 212, and you're rewriting that thing, make sure you rewrite what she had there on that underlined part in complete sentences. Okay? Any question about that? Yes, Nathan.
So we're just doing think B, but not write A.
No. I said right A is what we're doing. Yeah, we're doing the front side right A, but it also continues to the top of 212. So we're not doing think B on the bottom of 212. All right, so write that in your booklets, guys. If you don't have your booklets, write it on something. I don't know why. How many of you didn't open your envelopes yet? Anybody not open it? Okay. Are you waiting for Giselle for anything just because you had class, you just got it, or you haven't gotten it yet?
I have.
Oh, you have it. Okay. No, how many have not gotten it? So Elijah, you haven't gotten yours yet? Your microphone's off.
My mom just got it.
Okay. All right. That's fine. You can just get it afterwards. So
Mr.
write it on-
Jones,
You know the assignment. Yes, ma'am.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Okay. So your dad hasn't picked it up yet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. Just write it somewhere. That's all I'm asking is because you guys won't have your booklets to write it in. So write it down so you don't forget where it is. Now, anybody else? Everybody's gotten theirs otherwise? Okay. So skip over. Go over to looking at, let's go to page number 223 really quickly. 223. See that list of names there? Using the writing process to write a library research report. Okay, now we're not going to do the research report, of course, and so this is going to be important as far as just understanding a couple of things about the research report. I wanted to cover some of the information so at least you're familiar with what we would be doing normally. Who has an idea of the person they might have chosen from that list? You look at that list, who might you have chosen? Giselle?
Louis May Alcott.
Louisa May, not Louis A. That's Louisa May Alcott. She is the writer of
Little Woman.
Yes, Little Women is one of them. And that extension is so short. Is that why you wanted it?
Yeah.
Already got something on it. So what I do is I basically take it, and if it's correct, this one just needs to be graded like normal. Either half, if they half us, and then whatever they miss is double. So if you miss half, then it's going to be like you get it correct. So if they get the right answer, just scratch it out, and then so anything scratch out. But if it's still wrong, circle it. So like she had half credit. Actually, all I have to do is put the new grade on there, and I can just figure out from the original grade. Or if you want to do it, it's fine. I just need to know which one you got. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry. Sounds good. All right, Yuri. What would you pick?
Ulysses S. Grant.
Ulysses S. Grant. I think I had one person do that one time. I had some people do Louisa May. Well, they start with Louisa May Alcott, and then they change their mind afterward. David, what about you?
Amelia Earhart.
Couldn't hear you. Speak up a little bit.
Amelia Earhart.
Still couldn't understand you.
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart. I've had a few people do that one before, and that's a pretty interesting one. There's a good bit of information about her. Nathan, what about you? What'd you say? Or you got to turn your microphone on.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford. I had one person do that, and I have this gigantic book about Henry Ford in my closet that it's massive. It's an autobiography about him. The library had it, and then they were giving it away. So, who left?
Do we need to tell him?
Somebody left. Okay. Who else? Yuri, do you see one there you would like?
I already said it.
Oh, you did. Sorry. Schlock, how about you?
What are we doing?
Wow. You really have a hard time keeping up here, don't you? 223 is where we are. And I said there's a list of names there on the right side. And that's what you would have chosen for your research reports. And I was saying if there's somebody there that you would have been interested in writing about. What about you, Elizabeth? Or Angelica? Alina, you already told me, didn't you?
Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross, okay, and I've had somebody do one on that one. It's a pretty interesting story for her. They did a great job. The people who did that one did a great job. Okay, yes, ma'am.
I changed mine.
Well, it's not a matter of changing. It's just a matter of just what you might have chosen. See, I would have given you guys 3 choices, like a first, second, and third, and then I would have chosen between those. Sometimes people pick the same first ones, but then what else might you have been interested in?
Washington.
What was that?
Booker T. Washington.
Oh, George Washington. Yeah, that's a good bit of information about that. Had 1 or 2 people do that before. So Angelica, Alina, you got one or no? I've had a lot of people write about Clara Barton. That's one that there's a good bit of information out there for. I've had somebody do, I think only one person's done, I don't even know if they've done Benjamin Franklin. You know, I had somebody who did Davy Crockett because they were related to Davy Crockett. You remember KJ, right? AJ Johnson. He is related to Davy Crockett, his family. So, of course, you know, hundreds of years later now, but still, they related. I thought that was pretty interesting. I've had somebody, I never had anybody do Douglas MacArthur before, or Jim Thorpe. I've had a couple people do Booker T. Washington. Harriet Tubman, I had somebody do. Abraham Lincoln, I've had a few people do. Not many people have done Thomas Jefferson. I don't remember anybody doing Thomas Jefferson. Albert Einstein, I've had a few people do, and Thomas Edison as well. Amelia Earhart, definitely. Davy Crockett. George Washington Carver, I've had a few people do. What was he well known for? Anybody know? What was his, what was he? What kind of a person was he?
Peanuts person?
Yeah, he was the one that did a lot of experiments with peanuts. Nobody's done Andrew Carnegie. Daniel Boone, I've had some people do that. Mary McLeod Bethune, I've had some people do that one as well. She actually was a slave, but she was the founder of a college for blacks back down in Florida. In fact, it's still there, still existent in Daytona Beach, Florida. Alexander Graham Bell had a few people do. And Louisa May Alcott. John Audubon, I've not had anybody do that one before. But yeah, so you have some good, and I've had some people, I think they've done their own. They asked if they could do certain people, and I said yes. There's plenty of information out there. So you would have chosen a topic, and you would have done some research, and your research would have been whatever it was that you needed to find out about that person's life. And like we have, you had your 3 categories of early life, achievements, and later life. And that's how you would have gotten the information and gathered it. So let's go over to the next page, which is the bibliography cards. This page here. Bibliography cards basically would have been something you would have had to have in your report. It's a bibliography page. The bibliography page basically is the page that you list your resources on. So when you write about someone, you don't just use one book to be able to write about them. See, like what we're doing with the encyclopedia page about Helen Keller is not the way you would have normally written the actual. You wouldn't have just written it from that, because that would have been a book report. A research report involves gathering information from several sources so that you can then get a bigger picture, a better picture of everything. If you had, has anybody ever witnessed an accident before? Like you saw it happen, you watched it as, you know, somebody. Okay,
Small one.
what's that?
Like we haven't. Well, we saw it, but
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you witnessed it. Yeah.
yeah.
So you may have seen it, like maybe a part of it after it happened, maybe right after it happened. So when the police go there and they investigate, trying to find out who was involved. In fact, this happened with me when I was first, when I had the accident that happened down on 116th. And I think I've told this story to you guys before, but it was there where Kenton Furs is. It says Kenton Furs, a big sign there. The lady ran a stop sign. Well, when it first happened, I hit her and spun me around. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I'm texting Mr. Pick something. All right, so, but if you were there and you saw the accident, and then there was somebody from a different street who saw the accident, looks like Elijah got cut off for some reason. But anyway, it says, so let me double check here. Need to turn this thing off. People dinging me like crazy. Okay. Anyway, so the whole idea in that is that you get different perspectives. So if this person wrote about Clara Barton, and then you have this information from the Clara Barton Foundation, and then you have another source from the Red Cross, you get different perspectives on Clara Barton and what her life was like. You can find out information about her early life, and sometimes you find conflicting information, and so that's just the way it goes. But bibliography cards are what you use to keep track of what sources you use. When you are writing about somebody, you have to cite those sources. Cite, C-I-T-E, is what the word is. So it's like you are saying, this is where I'm getting my information from. Okay? You can't just make up stuff. You have to be able to tell you, this is where I got it from. These are supposedly first resources or second resources, so things that are reliable for information. So that's the idea. So you would have had those bibliography cards. Then you would have had, after that, you would have had note cards, or you have a preliminary outline. And okay, that's what we're going to be creating next from your notes. That's why I need you guys to get your notes together and get them to me so that I can check them and get them back to you so we can start on this part, the preliminary outline, which will start tomorrow. So try to get that done today so that we can do that tomorrow, because that's going to be your next part. All right, so your preliminary outline, and you're going to be talking about, things about that person, things that you learned about that person. And you go to start taking notes. And now I'm not making you do it on a note card like this. You would have, had we done it originally, but your notes are actually what you're writing on that paper, and it's the information that's there. So, and then, all right, well, it looks like I'm interrupting some of you guys' day with class. I'm just wanting to make sure that everybody's paying attention to what we're doing here. All right, so then you would use those notes and you would gather them together and you would put them all in some kind of an order. And of course, that order would be your outline. That's the whole idea. And you use your outline and your notes and the information. Sometimes even in your outline, you don't have information because you can't write everything, because you have to have if you have a 1, you have to have a 2. Sometimes you don't have that. And so you try your best to put all that information together and then start writing your rough draft. Then you do your rewrite of your rough draft, and then you write your final draft. Now, that's not what you're doing this year because we're not able to. You would have been doing it, but you're not able to this year. But we're going on to doing the other, this other thing that we're going to follow somewhat that same pattern, but we're only using the one source. We're going to get that information. We're going to put it into an outline, and then you're going to write a paper with it, a rough draft and a final copy, okay? It's not going to count like your research paper would have, which would have been 35% of your grade for language. Fourth quarter, it will count probably about 10, 15% of your grade for language. All right, so make sure that then you get that stuff to me today if possible. That way tomorrow you'll be ready to go ahead and do that outline. All right. Now what I want, so that is your assignment then for today, is to do that, those notes if you haven't done them, and then to do that part on page 210, 211 and 212, where you're doing those things about Tamika's notes and the information, and make sure that your notes are accurate from the information. All right, so 211 and 212 is your assignment on the top there, not think B on 212, but just the top there, okay? Any questions about anything on that? All right, let's go ahead and get your math out then. Today we're going to talk about something called a probability. A probability is basically sort of like a ratio, in the sense that a probability is telling us what's the fraction percent or fraction possibility that you will get a particular result. All right. Now there's another, oh, he says he wants to get in. Bless you. So there is a particular, oh, here we go. Maybe that will work. All right, there you are, Elijah. Sorry about that. I don't know how'd you get removed? Did I remove you, or did it just quit? Your microphone's off again.
I unaccidentally pressed leave.
Gotcha. Okay. So what you'll need to do is go back and watch that whole thing for language. We're just getting ready to start with math. So page number 469 is where we will be. And I will show you guys how probability works. Now, probability is always shown in the form of a fraction. Okay, so that's an important first thing to understand. Always shown in the form of a fraction. Chance, and we think of chance of something happening in percentages. Now, give me an example of somehow that in this world, please stop drawing on my board. Thank you. You guys just don't have enough time, enough art. I need to give you more art. Is that what it is? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Is that you, Giselle? You need more art? That wasn't you? Okay. It's Angelica. She's a good artist. But whoever it is. Okay. So, in any case, there we go. I'm going to see my chin now. Still somebody wants to do it. All right. We are, so we're talking about chance. What in our world do we think of when we say there's a chance of this happening? Can somebody tell me? Anybody? Chance? You guys enjoy that weather yesterday? Officially 87 degrees. You know what it was here at the school? 93 degrees was the high here at the school. It was pretty warm. So nobody understands about chance, even though I just gave you a hint. An area where we use chance often. Nobody. You got Nathan, what do you think?
How often rain would come?
Yeah. So for instance, they say at 2 o'clock today, or 4 o'clock today, there's a 30% chance of rain. They always go by chance, a 30% chance of rain. So if there's a 30% chance of rain, what's the chance there's not going to be rain?
70.
Yeah, 70%, because that's the opposite. It always equals 100. Well, probabilities are a little different. Anytime you're ready to stop drawing on my board, I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, it's your time. They show you this one particular method, and that is a dial. Now I'm going to put different things in it than what they have. All right, and then they have a spinner. Okay, and that spinner, which has an arrow on one end, and then the back end is just some little square thing that they have. The weight, I guess you could say. I guess I should make sure my connected. Okay, so when you do a spinner, and you guys have used spinners probably for games or something like that before, I would imagine. All right, so if I was going to spin this spinner, now Giselle, you have to imagine this spinner is not actually where it is right now. Okay, let's pretend it's not there at all. In fact, I'll go ahead and erase it. Just if I can get my eraser going. All right, so no spinner now, you see, right? So if I was going to spin this spinner, what are the chances that it would land on a 2? Okay, please don't write on my board. Stop writing on my board, please. Thank you.
25% chance.
Yeah, go ahead, Yuri. What do you think?
25% chance.
Oh, but remember, it for probabilities, it is always in a fraction. So how many 2s are there?
1/4.
Yeah, there you go. So there's one possibility out of four possibilities. There's one 2 out of 4 possible numbers. Okay, and so that would be how you would solve probability. Now, how about this one? All right, Elijah, you seem to be enjoying this very much. So make sure your microphone's on. What is the chance of getting a number greater than 2?
Oh,
What do you think? How many are greater than 2?
2,
Okay, so there's 2 out of how many total?
4,
All right, so, but if you can reduce the probability, you do. So what do you reduce that to?
1.5.
Well, 1/2, not 1.5. 1.5 is like this. So you don't want to say 1.5. 1/2, okay. All right, so you guys ready? You go ahead, Nathan, you have a question?
wait. So if it's if it like asks us the chance of it, do we write it in percent? And if it's probability, we do fraction.
Yeah, but I'll give you a hint. They're not going to ask you about chance at all, really. Well, they might later on. Right now, we're just doing probability. So you do chance in 6th grade. At the same time, they do probability, but they're mostly focused on the fraction because the fraction is what you're going to be working with more than anything. All right, so let's try something then. See how you guys do on this. And I'm not done teaching yet, so. What kind of figure is that called?
Cube.
Cube.
Okay, it's a cube. On a cube, all the sides are the same width and length, okay? All right? Well, it's not a cub. A cub is the baby of a bear or of a lion or something like that, you know? Or a man cub. I guess there's a man cub, you know, in jungle or the Jungle Book. But anyway, so a cube has how many sides altogether? Okay, Giselle.
4.
How many?
6.
I'm talking to Giselle, sorry. Giselle, how many sides does a cube have?
6.
Yeah, and so just like we used to roll, remember for candy in the afternoon, There are 6 sides. You have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now on a cube, so there are 6 sides. So what then, to answer this question? Please stop writing on my board. All right, so there you go. What's the probability of rolling an odd number on one roll of a die? Correct, Nathan? Correct, Alina? Correct, me? Correct, David? Hey, David loves that chat. That works well. All right, correct, Elizabeth? Correct, Schlock? Correct, Tejas? A little closer. Correct, Elijah? All right, we're waiting for Angelica and the other girl. Oh, wait a minute, maybe Angelica sent me a message. She did. That is correct, Angelica. Good job. I like the way you made your answer. And Giselle? That is correct, but then you got to reduce it. So what would that reduce to? You got it. All right, good job. All right, so let's try a little bit more difficult one then.
Yes. Wait, Mr. Jones, do we have to cover our face?
Why?
Okay, never mind.
I can't give you candy. You're like, sure you can, Mr. Jones. If you want to, you can.
Jones, you can give us grades.
I gave you grades already. Of course, I give you what you earn, so. All right. So let's pretend this is a spinner that actually isn't centered like I didn't show there. But this is a spinner, okay? So in this spinner, all right. I'm just going to put prob for probability of somebody's, there we go, greater. All right, there you go. What's the probability of spinning an odd number greater than 5? That is correct, David. Correct, Nathan. Correct, Yuri. Correct, Angelica. I like the way you do that, Angelica. Correct, Tejas. Correct, Schlock. Elijah, correct. Elizabeth, correct.
I'm dying.
You already do yours, Alina? I don't remember. Incorrect, Alina. I caught someone. So look at the question again. What's the probability? Oh, and I forgot. Maybe this is why, because you didn't see the question mark. What is probability of spinning an odd number greater than 5? I can't see it. Down a little bit. Down, down, down. That is incorrect. What did I say? 1/7? Giselle?
Yes.
Okay. That is not correct. Because first of all, there are 8 choices, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. Whoever wrote that on there. Incorrect. Alina, how many odd numbers are greater than 5? Whoever wrote that blue mark is correct. Giselle, I'll ask you the same question. How many odd numbers are greater than 5?
7.
That's it. On this number thing, that's it. 7. So how many are there? It's easy to count, Giselle. Ready? Count with me. 7. Okay, that's 1. Out of how many total numbers?
8.
Yep. So what's the answer?
7, 8.
No, 7 is only one number. There are, how many numbers are there greater than 5 that are odd? There's one number greater than 5 that is odd. That's the number 7. You don't put that number on the top. You just, how many are there is what you're trying to figure out. So there's only one that's greater than 5 that's odd. And so that's 1 out of 8 total. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Make sense? All right. Let's try another one. One more. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That's all right. All right, so here we go. Okay, so what's the probability of spinning a number greater than 1 and less than 8?
Who's done?
Nathan got it. David got it. Who left? One people left. One person left. Angelica got it. Good job. Angelica, this is like right up your alley, isn't it?
Yes.
You enjoy this. I can tell. This is one of those things that can be very fun. Ooh, schlock. Got to reduce that fraction. Correct me. Correct, Alina. Elizabeth's still wondering. Correct, Mr. Tages. Correct, Mr. Schlock. Tages, can I ask you a question? Did you put that first answer down there because you didn't read the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought so. All right, still waiting. That is correct, Elizabeth. Good job. It's like Elijah accidentally took himself out again. Just waiting for Ms. Giselle. Are you figuring it out right now, Giselle? You guys need to go, you can. If you wanted to stay, I'm not going to do any other ones, but don't forget to do that. And then tomorrow we have lesson 125 and then test on Wednesday. Don't forget to get that language done, please, and send me a picture of it quickly so that we can get that graded, and then you guys can be ready for your outline next week. Or outline this week, outline tomorrow. What you got, Giselle? David, what are we having?
No ice cream.
Ice cream for lunch?
Yeah.
Where's mine?
Is at your house?
No, we don't have ice cream at our house.
That's 4.
That's sad. Oh, I have a question for you all. How many of you would be interested in getting a yearbook? Tejas doesn't know. Was that a yes or a no, Tejas?
No.
You had to wait to see what Schlock was going to do first.
Mm-mm.
So I see Angelica and Alina and David. I'm sure there are a few others as well. All right, because we're going to get them done, and then, but everybody has to pre-order them. So make sure you let Pastor Frakes know ahead of time. Yeah, David?
How much is it?
It'll be 20, I think it's going to be 28 altogether.
I'll take it.
The one thing that, if you guys have any pictures still that you took of school, send them to me because I can put them in still. And we didn't get as many pictures as we usually do. So if you have any pictures, send them to me. All right. Any other, you got it yet, Giselle? Oh, there you go. You're right. You got it. Good job. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'll send you a photo for the yearbook.
What was that?
I'll send you a photo for the yearbook.
Okay. You want to text it to me then?
Yeah.
Or do you have Skipple on your,
I'll
Yeah.
text it to you.
okay, that'd be fine.
None of them are graded. You don't turn them
I'm sending it to you right now.
All right. See, the rain's coming.
Yeah, it just arrived.
The rain did?
No, the photo.
Oh, okay. So there's the dot where we are, right there. And then there's the rain coming up toward us. And then here's the rain coming from further south, down near California, Oregon now. So you said we might have some thunderstorms. That would be fun anyway. I'll miss the warm weather. I got it now. Oh, that's a good one. I like that. When'd you take that one?
That was in January at school.
That's a good picture. I like it. I'll put that one in. Let's see it.
I can't see it.
That's because you gotta sit up. Sit up on the books or something. I don't know what to tell you. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Mr. Jones.
Where are we?
Where are you? You're at your house.
No, in there.
Oh, it's in the classroom, right next to the coat rack.
Oh.
Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
I am happy, but I'm not happy because I am. We're trying to get a house. We already